Hello. It is not April 30th. If it was, I would be sad because my nano's not near done. And although then prom setup would be done, so I'd be happier then. It is April 24th. However, I have a lot of books to haul. And quite a few to unhaul, actually. I'm going to do my haul first, which is a little bit backwards. Normally I do my unhaul first. But I do believe that, so this is my last big haul before I decided I went back on my book buying restrictions. And so I'm going to stop with the monthly hauls because I think hopefully with the restrictions I won't have as many books, so maybe I will calm my shit a little bit. So we're just going to call it like book haul April 24th, 2021. Just going to call them by the date that they were filmed. I have a lot of books here. So we're going to get started from a variety of sources. I made all these purchases and then I was like, maybe I should stop buying so many books. I went back on the restrictions. So got lots of books that I got off of eBay. Because again, I just got sucked into that. But first we went to Fargo. Macy went to Fargo, and so we stopped at Barnes & Noble, so I bought 2 books. I got My Best Friend's Exorcism by Grady Hendrix. I have been just kind of collecting up all of this man's books. I have not read a single one of them yet. But I do know that me and Grady Hendrix, I believe I've mentioned this 1,000 times whenever I hold up one of his books. We are the 2 only people that have reviewed like the horoscope books on Goodreads, and I have a much higher opinion of them than he does. I fucking loved, at least Revenge of Taurus. I fucking loved Revenge of Taurus. The other ones are kind of meh. I also picked up Call Down the Hawk by Maggie Stiefvater. I read The Raven Cycle. I enjoyed The Raven Cycle. I thought that this would be interesting too. So there's that. Then we've got a lot of horror novels, paperbacks that I bought off of eBay. We've got Demon Fire by Gary L. Hallman, which with the tagline, Aloha, welcome to hell, which I think is really fun. I've also got Blackfire by James Kidman, which does not have a tagline, which makes me pretty sad. Normally with these little horror paperbacks, they have a tagline. This next one sure does. Offerings by T.M. Minton. Enslaved by bloodlust, they sacrifice their victims to a nameless god. We love to see it. Then I got a book that I believe I got from a thrift store. It is Throwaway Girls by Jennifer Vaughn. This is the first J.C. Wilder book. This looks like a thriller. It's from Waldorf Publishing, which I believe is one of those small presses. It looks pretty fun. I won a lot of children's books. I got a Charlie Bone and the Time Twister by Jenny Nimmo. The Charlie Bone series is a series that I loved a lot as a kid, and so I thought I would. I've kind of been picking them up whenever I find them, and this was one that I did not have. Also got A Hole in the World by Sid Height. No clue what this is about. Same thing with The Moonlight Man by Betty Wren Wright. There was another one with this one, but I think it got buried under some other ones that'll come up at some point. And that was actually my real reason for getting this thing. The Charlie Bone was just a bonus. Stack 2 out of fucking 7. So, stack 2. Then I got a lot of manga. All of these, for some reason, are English flipped. So you know how manga normally is like you read them left to right. Right to left. Right to left. I'm sorry, I don't know directions. This one has been flipped. This is The Chronicles of the Grim Peddler by Lee Jong-ah. I believe it's because this is not Japanese manga. I think it's Korean. So I think those ones they may be flipped. I don't know. But I got The Chronicles of the Grim Peddler Volume 1. I also got the first 2 Night School The Waren books by Svetlana Chmakova, which sounds fucking Russian. But I got Volume 1 and Volume 2. Then I got the first 3 Dramacon books, also Svetlana Chmakova. I'm sorry. But like I said, Volume 1, 2, and 3. And then I've got the other one from that children's lot, the Charlie Bone book. It is In the Land of the Lawn Weenies by David Lubar. And here's the thing. So when I was in, I want to say 7th grade, I was like 12, my father was the technology coordinator at my school. And it's a very small school, like K through 12. I actually work there now. I'm their English teacher. My dad is still the technology coordinator, though he is now also professor of education at a local college nearby. Anyway, but in the 6th grade classroom was this book. And I have been thinking about it for so long, and I found other like weenie books. I don't know, there are a lot of them. I've never found this one, and I finally did, and I'm so happy. I'm so happy about it. Then I picked up a self-published book that is Who's There? A collection of stories by Dimas Rio. This is horror stories. That's a creepy ass cover. Looked fun. I got a collection of self-published poetry. That is "You're So Patient With Me" by Ivan Nuru. Emma, my friend from New York, who's that's what I call her in real life. I met her in Lord of the Flies fanfiction archive like years and years and years ago. We've been pretty good friends since. But she like posted a link to his website because this was on sale a bit ago, and so I bought one. And honestly, when he sends you these, like, he sent like a personalized note, and it's signed, and it's just very nice little poetry collection. So I did pick this up. I made a thrift books order. I've got Books Burn Badly by Manuel Rivas. I believe this is a classic. It's a thick boy, so we will see when we get to this bitch, but I've got it. I also picked up Angus Thongs and Full Frontal Snogging by Louise Renison. This was a Nickelodeon movie, I believe, if I remember correctly. That's all I know about it. I don't think I ever actually watched it. I just remember the commercials. But now I have it. Then 2 more Warrior Cat books came out, and so to continue my reread, I had to pick them up. That is Book 5 of The Broken Code, The Place of No Stars, as well as another novella collection, A Warrior's Choice, which has Blackfoot's Reckoning, which I am very excited about because I've just Blackstar forever, Daisy's Kin, and Spotfur's Rebellion. So I've got these now. I can keep on going with this reread at some point. I don't know when. It'll probably be a while, but there's that. Now I've got stack 3. I know I've been going fast, but that's because I have 7 fucking stacks of books to haul, all roughly the same size, as well as probably the equivalent of 2 stacks to Unhaul. So that's why I'm going quickly. Also, because I talk fast, and if you've been here for a while, you know that. Non-English speakers hate me. Anyway, or non-first language. I've got my Book of the Month books. My pick for the month of April was What Comes After by Joanne Tompkins. This is about how a town deals with the aftermath of 2 teenage boys dying. Is what I believe I have gathered from the front flap here. It looks very interesting. Yeah, I figured I would give it a shot. And then I did pick 2 add-ons. I picked up, finally, Circe by Madeline Miller. I read Song of Achilles a while ago. I very much enjoyed Song of Achilles. I never picked up Circe. This was the book of the year for 2018. So that's promising. Heard a lot of really great things about it. One of my seniors actually read that this semester, and she really enjoyed it. So I have high hopes. And then I also picked up The Unraveling of Cassidy Holmes by Alyssa R. Sloan. Because, guys, I fucking love music. I love music books so goddamn much. I know this is about a pop singer, and so it's probably not going to be as enticing to me, but it just looks so much fun. I fucking loved it. I picked it up. I say that like I fucking read it already. I fucking love the idea of it. So I picked it up. Then I've got another book that I believe I got from Thrift Books. That is A Hazard of New Fortunes by William Dean Howells. This is a classic. I have no idea what it's about, and I don't know why I have it, but whoever had it before me left a sticky note in it. Very yellowed pages with age here. They left a sticky note in it that is not in English other than the words "what is," so that's super exciting. Then I got lots of books, young adult books on eBay. I also made a giant book outlet order because I'm a fucking idiot. But just assume that unless I specify otherwise, these are from lots of books on eBay. I don't remember. I think there was one lady I bought like 3 different lots of books from. I don't remember which lot, so we're just going to go with it. I got Shiver by Maggie Stiefvater. I did read this book when I was in high school. I was pretty meh about it. But now I'll read it again. I also got, The Conspiracy of Us by Maggie Hall. Again, young adult. I believe this is fantasy or futuristic or both. One of the two, both. I don't know. I believe I got the sequel to this one as well. Also, Milk and Vine by Adam Gasiewski and Emily Beck. This was a parody of Milk and Honey by Rupi Kaur, which I haven't read. One of my sophomore girls did, though. She liked it. But this is just where they just take a bunch of vines, like the really, really popular ones, like, "What up, I'm Jared, I'm 19, I never fucking learned how to read." And they just do that with them. It's going to be a fast fucking read, let me tell you that. Then I picked up 13 Little Blue Envelopes by Maureen Johnson. I have this book in paperback in the book wall, but say la fucking be, I guess. Then I also got The Fifth Wave by Ricky Yancey. If I look at this, like, the cover price of all these goddamn hardcovers, It was a steal. However, the fact that I have 1,200 fucking unread books makes this less of a steal and more of insanity. I'd never read The Fifth Wave. I was vaguely interested in it. We have it in the high school library. I think we have the whole series in the high school library. Now I've got it. I heard the first book was good. I heard the books afterwards sucked, so I think we'll see how that goes. Then just watch Aurora just descend into insanity as she realizes how many fucking books she's acquired, because she has a goddamn problem. Wicked by Gregory Mcguire. It was made into the musical. It's about the Wicked Witch of the West. Very popular. I never read it. This next one was a young adult book I was actually quite interested in that I never picked up. So I'm pretty happy about this. That is The Love Interest by Cale Dietrich. This is about like two boys who are sent to like both seduce this girl, but then they fall in love with each other. It sounded cute and kind of fun. Just extremely ridiculous. Oh, look at that. We've got a little advert in there for Nerdy Post. Fun. But I'm actually pretty excited for this one. Okay. Seizure by Katie Rakes. This is a Virals novel. I think this is a sequel. Yeah, the number one is Viral, so this is a sequel. I don't have the first book, so that'll be super fun. This looks dystopian. That's what I'm gonna guess. Then Catching Stars by Kayla Keenan. This is definitely fantasy. I don't know anything else. It looks like maybe a Middle Eastern inspired fantasy, which might be interesting. Don't see as much of that. We've got Looking for Alaska, which is the one John Green book I don't have in the book wall. I've read all the John Green books except for Turtles all the way down. But I got rid of them all because I'm not 14 years old. Now somehow I've acquired them all again. It's fucking somehow. We'll see. Anyway, I've got New Moon by Stephanie Meyer, which I have also read. I read the whole Twilight series. I had my Twilight phase. I was Team Jacob, by the way, if you were wondering. Now I've got New Moon again. This is just just see me get progressively angrier and angrier as I go on because I have zero self-control. But my book buying shrinkage wall plan has been going a lot better. It's been going well. I'm still in the first phase, but we'll see how it goes. Here's the sequel to Conspiracy of Us, Map of Fates. Again, I got the twirly staircase. I got The Big F by Maggie Ann Martin. This is an ARC. It came out August 2017. It looks like a fun contemporary that will take about 20 minutes to read. Then I got Girl Online by Zoe Sugg, who was a YouTuber. I never watched her. I was never into that. But now I've got her book, so there's that. Okay. We got 3 stacks left. We're out of room over here. I'm just going to slide you down there. We're just going to slide you down. Slide you down. Okay. Alrighty. Oh my god, this first one is fucking ridiculous. It is Ed Sheeran, A Visual Journey by Ed Sheeran and Philip Boutaw. Fucking Boutaw. I never got into Ed Sheeran. It's not my style of music. I have a Metallica tattoo. I think I could recognize maybe 2 of his songs. They were mega popular. I don't know anything about this, and I don't know why I have it. Anyway, I got a graphic novel. Up to the username Evie by Joe Sugg, who I think is also a YouTuber. I don't know what this is about. It's a graphic novel. It exists. Got another Shiver book. We got Linger by Maggie Stiefvater. I think this is the second one. I never read the second one. I only read the first one. So maybe this will be fun. I guess we'll see. It's again, hardcover. Got another ARC. That is Select by Merritt Weisenberg. When did this? This came out in October 2017. Okay, this is like a urban fantasy situation, so that might be interesting. Then we've got The Season by Jonah Lisa Dyer and Stephen Dyer. This is a modern take on Pride and Prejudice, I guess, so that looks interesting. I don't know, I read Pride and Prejudice I think once for class. I didn't like it. Then I've got Hollow City by Ransom Riggs. This is a signed copy, so that's kind of neato. I read, there it is, there's a signature. I read Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children in college. It was okay. I never read any more of the series, but now I've got book 2, so that's good, I guess. We got Undertow by Michael Buckley, which looks actually pretty interesting. I see a carnival, so that should be fun. I hope it's creepy. Hope there are some clowns. I love some clowns. We got Goodbye Days by Jeff Zettner. I read The Serpent King. Was that by Zettner? I think that was by Zettner. I liked it. It was pretty good. This one is probably, it looks like absolutely destroying. That's not the way you use that word, but it just looks like, I think this is into my thrift books order, actually. Not thrift books, Book Outlet, because these look like books that I've picked out for myself. This looks like absolutely shattering. Like, honestly, it's about a guy who's like texting his friends, and one of them was driving and texting him back, and then they died. So that should be fun. I also picked up Bruised by Sarah Skilton. This is about a girl who's a black belt, but then she freezes up when she's in like a hostage situation with a man with a gun, and so she has to deal with that. We got Big Guns by Steve Israel, which is, he is a congressman, or he was a former United States representative from New York. So he was in Congress for 16 years. I believe this is like a satire, political satire. So that might be interesting to read one that was written by a former congressman. We also got Little Disasters by Randall Klein. I don't know what this is about. I've got we're going to save that. We're going to go through the rest of my Book Outlet books, and then we'll get to that one. I got The Radicals by Ryan McColvin, which looked fun. Outrun the Moon by Stacey Lee. She wrote Under a Painted Sky, which I really enjoyed. So I'm excited to see this one. She does historical fiction. She's very good at it. I'm excited to see where this one goes. We've got Have a Little Faith in Me by Sonia Harrell. I can't read that font. Give me a decent font, goddammit. Hartle. Sonia Hartle. This is about a girl whose boyfriend is really Jesus-y, and then after she gives him her virginity, he just fucks off to church camp and breaks up with her, and so she follows him to church camp and has to pretend to be Jesus-y. It sounds kind of funny. Also picked up Pretty Little Liars by Sarah Shepard for some goddamn reason. Kids of Appetite by David Arnold, which just looked kind of interesting. I don't actually know what it's about, but again, I've heard David Arnold's name before. Picked up From Twinkle with Love by Sandhya Menon. I have One Dimple Met Rishi. I haven't read it yet. Fun fact, I bought One Dimple Met Rishi at Walmart. And it was when I was working at Dairy Queen, so it was during the summer before my junior year of college, I think. But it would have been about June, because I quit before the end of June. And I turned out of Walmart, and I immediately popped a tire on the Prius. That's my experience with this author, so she gave me a flat. Anyway, then I got Save the Date by Morgan Matson. I read something by Morgan Matson, I think, Since You've Been Gone. It was okay. This looked kind of fun. She writes curiously huge contemporary novels. That should be interesting. I say it like it's a group effort. I also picked up The Tangled Lands by Paulo Bacagaluppi and Tobias S. Buckle. I read The Shipbreaker duology by Paulo Bacagaluppi. I enjoyed it quite a bit, so I picked up one of his books. And then I picked up the third Corpse Party book by Makoto Keidwan and Toshimi Shinomiya. I am kind of collecting these. Book 4, Volume 4 is proving a bit difficult to find. Get my hands on. This is an ex-library copy, but from the Baltimore Public Library, so that's fun. But yes, I have been picking up these. There are 5 of these bind-ups, and that's the versions I'm getting. So I've only got 2 more to get now, so that's pretty exciting. Then a book we did, A Boy No More by Harry Mazer, which is about World War II, I think. That sure looks like a concentration camp. So that's fun. Then I got the entire fucking Fallen Kingdom series. The entire goddamn series, along with the 2 companion novels, because it was a lot on eBay. So that is Fallen Kingdoms, Rebel Spring, Gathering Darkness, Frozen Tides, Crystal Storm, Immortal Rain. That's the main series. Everybody was talking about these like a couple years ago. I really wanted to get into them. I never did. But that also includes a Book of Spirit and Thieves and The Darkest Magic. So I got all those. They're all by Morgan Rhodes. Now I have literally all of them. Then I picked up the 5th volume of Goodnight Pun Pun by Inio Asano. This is my favorite manga series ever to exist. I've got volumes 1 and 2 right there. I've been collecting them in English. I have read the entire series online with like fan translations before they published it in English. But I've been picking them up as, I mean, they're all out by now, but I've been picking them up infrequently. Whenever I can't get a Corpse Party, I go, this is my second choice, because I can get these on Amazon, and Corpse Party, I can't get them anywhere but fucking eBay. So I did get this. This is volume 5. I think I've got 2 more after this to pick up, something like that. And finally, a book I won from Goodreads came in, and that is Jackpot by Michael Mechanic, which is about how rich people live. Okay, we're running at 20 minutes. I've got a stack of books to unhaul. We're going to go through it fast. A lot of these are books that I did like. It's just like, I'll read a book and be like, I love it. And I just put it in the stack to shelve. And then I pick stuff up and I'm like, I don't know why I decided to save this. I don't really need it. So that's what a lot of these are. So just because I'm unhauling a book doesn't mean I don't like it. It means I have thousands of books. Okay. We'll start the stack. Okay, I've got Leaves of Grass by Walt Whitman. This is poetry. Walt Whitman's a fantastic poet. Don't need to keep it. I've got The Days of Distraction by Alexandra Chang, which is a literary novel. It was pretty good. Getting rid of Breathe My Name by R.A. Nelson, which is a young adult thriller. Definitely one of those teenagers will get a lot more out of it than I did. I've got a chapter sampler for The Quest for Glory, which is a School for Good and Evil book. I don't need a chapter sampler. To tell the truth, I didn't read this because I don't have time for chapter samplers. Also getting rid of Lisey's Story by Stephen King. This is not an edition I care to keep, and this is not a book I like that much. So, especially for Stephen King, so I don't need it. Getting rid of The Devouring by Simon Holt. This was a really fun horror novel. Don't need to keep it. Got I Am Not a Serial Killer by Dan Wells. Fun fact, my ex-90s Jacob, he looked a lot like the main character in the movie when they played this one, so that was kind of fun. But this was a fun series. I read the first 2 books, and the second book is in the stack too. I never finished it. It was kind of fun though. And then, oh man, Competitive Skateboarding by Holly Geffrey, or Seffrey. Again, I think it's Seffrey, again with the stupid fucking fonts. It's a picture book about skateboarding. Oh, okay. I've got a audio CD. I've got the audio CD for Riding the Bullet by Stephen King. I've got, again, Skateboarding Startup by Doug Werner and Steve Badillo. I bought all these when I was first writing One More Sad Song, because I didn't know shit about skateboarding. But now I do know shit about skateboarding from these books. I also I'm getting rid of another Stephen King book. I've got a couple in here. Bag of Bones. Again, I don't like this edition. If it was a really nice hardcover, maybe I'd keep it. Also, this is like my least favorite Stephen King book I've ever read. It took me a month to finish. I eventually had to just, every night, I forced myself to read a chapter. And eventually I got through it, but I did not like it. Also, The Sword of Shannara by Terry Brooks. I liked this a weird amount when I was reading it. I was just like, ooh, I'm liking it. I'm having so much fun with it. And I don't know why I decided I need to keep it, because it's like not very good and I don't like fantasy. But we're getting rid of it now. And then another Stephen King book. This is one that I actually did really enjoy, but I have a lot of editions of it, and I don't need this certain edition. So that is Rose Matter. Rose Matter is a fantastic book, and it is probably one of Stephen King's only good female protagonists, is Rose. But I don't need to keep it at all. So, because I have multiple copies, and this is probably my least favorite edition, so I'm getting rid of it. I've got The Cheerleaders by Kara Thomas. I enjoyed The Cheerleaders quite a bit, but I don't need to keep it around. I think Cece will really like it, if nobody else. We've also got Guns N' Roses, The Most Dangerous Band in the World by Mick Wall. I will keep stuff like, where is it? Stephen Adler's memoir way up here, and Duff McKagan's memoirs, but probably Slash's memoir once I read it. I don't need to keep this Mick Wall book. It's mostly just interviews with Slash anyway. Also, I've got a coffee table book. I got a couple of them, but this one is Nirvana, The Day-to-Day Illustrated Journals by Carrie Borzillo-Vrenna. This is just a book about Nirvana and like the timeline of the band, and I mean, I believe I've mentioned, I had a huge, if you've been around long enough, a huge Nirvana phase in college. But like, I'm keeping the journals, I'm keeping Heavier Than Heaven, don't need that. Here's the sequel to I'm Not a Serial Killer, Mr. Monster. Again, fun series, don't need to keep it. Boys and Sex by Peggy Ornstein. This was a really interesting book, and I really enjoy her as a nonfiction author. However, it's an ARC, and has a lot of printing errors to the point where like pages are missing, pages are reprinted, they're complete blank pages, you're missing a lot, so I don't want to keep it. The Woman in Cabin 10 by Ruth Ware. Really enjoyable thriller, but I have a lot of books and I don't need it around. Another coffee table book. This one might shock some. I'm getting rid of So What by Stefan Shirazi. This is the Metallica Illustrated Chronicle. Again, this is mostly interviews, and like, oh man. I do love that picture of those Kirk Hammett eyes. This must be the Load era, must it? Yeah, I'm seeing lots of eyeliner and short hair. This is Load and Reload, definitely. Even, honestly, now I'm having second thoughts. I'm looking at Kirk Hammett. Beautiful man. No, I'm getting rid of it. It's just like the best parts of like their magazine. And again, I've got a lot of Metallica books. Like I'm keeping the Mick Wall Metallica book. I'm just not keeping this. So, yeah. A book that I actually finished fairly recently, Unloved by John Saul. This is a horror novel. It was fun. It was pulpy. I don't need it. A couple more. You've got Billy Budd by Herman Melville. This is falling the fuck apart. I should probably just throw it away. I'm not going to. It's a classic. And then a Warrior Cat book I'm getting rid of because it's got like dead moth stains on the front. Like moths, because I'm scared of moths, and when I was little I used to hunt them around with books and kill them because it was like a flight or fight situation and I decided to fight. But I'm getting rid of Eclipse because I've got that on the back. So that's gross. But yeah, that is my book haul / unhaul for April 24th, 2021. This is going to be the last large book haul, or so help me God. So help me God.